Okay. Hello, everyone. If you're just tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. First off, I think I'd like to say a very big happy new year to all of us who are joining in. This is the first day of the month of January 2025. I'm particularly excited because I strongly believe it's going to be a great year for us Nigerians, for us Africans, for us creatives, right? And I'm also even more excited that we're starting off the month or the year on these notes. Um, when we're wrapping up last year, I mean, obviously we've had like different experiences last year across different careers, but one of the things we wanted to be very cognizant about was the fact that we needed to create something that, obviously would help people to find a footing in this coming year or in the new year that we're already in. And we figured, why not start off the year with, putting this together to make sure that everyone who gets to be a part of this can, have some sort of headway, for the year, especially if you're trying to build yourself a career in tech, right? Last year saw a lot of tech breakouts in different tech niches, right? And for us at Talent Factory, we want to make sure that we're able to create or bridge that gap between, tech talents and being able to build a successful career in tech. Whether you are a novice, whether you're just getting into the industry afresh, or you're already an already existing tech creative, we want to make sure that this year, 2025, we can be able to position ourselves for a different level of success. And this is the best way to start this. And so we've put together this tech career planning and goal setting webinar or session just to help you get a headway if you're trying to build yourself a career in tech. So welcome, welcome, welcome again. We're going to dive right into it, particularly because we can't say everything, within this short time. So we want to see how we can make the best use of our time together here. Now, I have an amazing guest who is joining us. When I got to find out that he's going to be joining us, I was like, oh, perfect. I mean, there's no better person who could, be able to speak to us about this particular discussion today. Um, I know that for us who are techies, especially those who are already existing techies, one of the things we like to, do is listen to our fellow tech creatives who have sort of like, built some reputable success over time. And I kid you not when I say this particular guest who's joining us today has been able to create that level of success for his brand, for his personal brand, and for the company that he's building. So, guys, I'm going to just quickly introduce him, and then he's going to come in and share with us on our theme or our topic for today, which is crafting your 2025 tech career roadmap. We don't want to walk through 2025 without a roadmap. We want to have some sort of guide, right? We don't want to do guess or trial and error like we might have done last year. So we want to be able to use a roadmap that can guide us on our journey, especially regarding building a tech career, a successful tech career. Again, whether you are fresh or you're already existing in the industry. So we'll be talking crafting your 2025 tech career roadmap, particularly setting smart goals. Smart goals because we want to see how, how the popular saying goes, don't just work hard, work smart. So we want to make sure that our goals are, smart goals as well, but not just create these goals, create a roadmap to achieving these goals because it's beyond just setting goals, right? It's also about creating roadmaps, little guides that can help you to achieve those goals. So I'm going to introduce our guest right away, and obviously he's going to share more with us and speak to us much more deeply, on our topic of discussion today. So, guys, I would have said drum roll, but I don't have drums with me, so you can imagine the drum rolls in your head But today, joining me today on this live webinar is the amazing Chibi Amadi. Um, Chibi is the co-founder and CEO at Paycrest, and he's been able to build quite a successful career over time. So guys, join me and welcome Chibi. Chibi, I'm excited to have you join us today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Oche. I just want to do a sound check. Can everyone hear me?
Okay. Um, I believe so. I can clearly hear you on my end. So, but if you
Okay,
can hear
good. So I'll
me,
just go on.
yeah, you can go on.
Okay. Um, Good evening, everyone. From here, it's evenings and Happy New Year, as Uche said. I'm excited about 2025. I'm really excited about 25, and it is good before this call. I don't think I've set my goals hard for 2025. So
Right.
it's amazing having this call so we can all um, speak and excel ourselves together, answer some questions, and just figure out stuff together. Yeah, so I'm Chibotu Amadi, as Uche said. I'm a software engineer. I've gone through the whole path. Like I started out just hobby coding. I was a hobby developer from like I think since 2008. I've been playing with software from Java, my first language. So I went through until like 2015 before I end. I think 2014 if I end any Naira from from software engineering. I freelanced for a while. Then I also got opportunities to work for foreign companies. The longest was working with Consensus. If you're in the blockchain space, you probably know Consensus. So I worked as one of the first Black engineer in Consensus. Um, worked with Gitcoin, led cross-chain integrations for like 3 years, and left last year to build my startup, Paycrest. I'm co-founder and CEO of Paycrest. We're building a decentralized liquidity protocol for cross-border payments, basically. Yes, so I'm excited to be here. And the topic, why am I excited about goal setting specifically? I think looking back at my growth or the path I've taken, I can say I'm a really goal-oriented person, right? I know some persons stumble on stuff. Some of the things has to be luck, some, of course, grace, but it's just the fact that even while we trust God and we pray and hope that our life turns out the way we envisioned it, we have to have deliberate plans and have habits and um, vision plans that would enable us achieve the things we want to achieve, right? And I think I've done that for the past few years, and I can count goals I've set and achieved, even though, of course, you may not get 100%, but if you set 100%, you can get 50%, you can get 60%, you can even get 40, and that's okay. We have a long life of learning. Yeah, so the topic, as I said, is about our tech career, setting your, a roadmap, tech career roadmap 2025, and through specifically SMART goals, right? And there's something I heard, a quote I heard. I don't have a slide, so I'll just talk from my head. And if you have questions, you ask. I know in the new year, everyone is excited, everyone is pumped. There's some people that would say, um, Happy New Year, they will start bombing themselves with habits. Like before December, they were just like maybe bombers, just sleeping, lazy. And then January, they suddenly want to launch a rocket, right? And then and then most people fail. In fact, they give up in their, what they call it, their New Year goals by February. I know some businesses won't give up January 30th, but as February, people have already started giving up on their goals, right? And you just completely forget. You ask some persons by May or June, what did you set out to do this year? And they're like, I'm just surviving, man. I have life. I was talking to someone about financial saving. I said, how much have you saved this year? He said, I saved my life. I'm like, okay, that's really good. Happy you saved your life. But that's just what happens for 80% of persons. And the reason why a lot of people fail in actualizing their goals is because I learned this that because they set goals without systems. You set goals without systems. So through this presentation or talk, I'll walk you through setting smart goals, and then I'll walk you through how we can build systems that will enable us achieve our goals, right? And this isn't just about tech, because if you're a shitty person outside tech, you still feel it in tech. So it's just about what can you do as an individual to up your productivity. So whether you're in tech, whether you're in farming, whether you're a politician, whatever you're doing, you are a motivated and is a productive person. So I think this applies to anyone. Then towards the end, I'll narrow it down to tech and then see what we can do. But it's a good year for um, um, developers, for UI UX designers, anybody in tech basically, because we're still really, really early, especially those in the blockchain space. So number one, what is SMART? SMART goal. SMART goal doesn't just mean the goal is smart. It's actually an acronym, it's an abbreviation, it has a meaning. So we'll go through S, go through M, we'll go through A, R, and T, and I'll try to set examples as much as possible. I would like to also, Uche, in case of Lawrence, just in case, I know questions flying at the end, but just if there are questions that are key at abrupt stops when I finish a section, you can also ask. So number one, SMART just simply means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. I'll go through that again. SMART, SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, or attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Good? Okay, so specific. I cannot say, for example, if I'm talking about is your goal has to be smart. So we'll start from specific and we'll go through all of them. Now, specific, a goal, someone can say, okay, what's your goal for 2025? And someone goes, yo, I want to be healthier. Right? Now that's a very vague goal. Or someone says, I want to be rich. That's a very vague goal, because you say you want to be rich. What is rich? Like, how do you know you are rich? It's not specific enough. It's just broad. I want to be rich. It's relative being rich. Or someone says, let me give you another vague goal. I want to be a software engineer. It may look specific, but I think it's still vague, right? Or I want to be a UI UX designer. That's a wish at best. It's not a goal yet. It's a wish. It's just something that feels good. It's a dream, if I would say. Yeah, like it's a dream. Like me saying I want to be an AI engineer or prompt engineer. That's a dream. But when it becomes a goal is when it's specific. So let's use the example of I want to be healthier. I can say I will exercise 30 minutes every day. If I say I will exercise 30 minutes every day, now that is specific. The goal is, remember, my dream is I want to be healthier, but now it's a goal when I say I would exercise. For example, let me give an example of someone that has currently gone through learning the basics of, let's say, UI UX design, and the person wants to try their hands on with a job. Rather than saying I want a job in UI UX engineering, UI UX design this year, you can say I would send out 10 job applications every day. Now that's specific, right? It will definitely help you reach that your wish, but it's specific. So that's what specific means. For measurable means there has to be some sort of metrics. So when you achieve your goal, you know this is like, this, I've achieved it. For example, when I started programming, the first book I read, that was, I think, Java Notes in 2011, I think, when I started Java programming, Java Notes. And I remember then after that, I think I also read Java for Dummies, beginning Java for Dummies, for Dummies series, very interesting series. I'll tell myself, okay, I'm going to read maybe 20 books 20 chapters, or 20 pages rather, 20 pages every day. Or you can say you want to go through a particular book this year and you say, I'm going to read 30 pages. Now that's measurable, because when you're done with page one, I've gone 1/30, page two, 2/30, 3/30, 4/30, and that's 30/30, and you've completed it. So it's measurable. There has to be a metric. If you want to maybe read better, improve your reading this year, you can say, I want to read 12 books this year. Now that's still measurable. because it's 12. There's a count. If you're done with one, you know you're done with one. You're done with two, I'm done with two, until you get to 12. So that's measurable. Then your goal has to be achievable. That's or attainable. Some people say attainable, some say achievable. Achievable in the sense that it has to be something that you can do. Let me give you an example. Imagine I have never written a line of code in my life as an engineer, for example, a software engineer. And then I say, I want to launch, I want to build the software that would launch SpaceX next flight to space by March. That's not achievable at all. It's not realistic. That's also what it means. It's not realistic, right? Because me being real, okay, that may be too high. Let me bring it down. So something that hits you home. Imagine I'm someone that um I'm a very lavish spender. I always eat out every single day. I don't cook. I eat out, and it tells on my saving. Let's say I spend a lot on food. Maybe I earn 100K a month, and then I'm spending like 70,000 naira on food or let's say 80,000 naira every month on food. And then I say from this year, 2025, I wouldn't spend more than 5K on food every month. It makes no sense. That's not achievable, right? Even though it may appear, sorry, give me a minute. Okay. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. So even though it may achieve, even if it appear reasonable, but it's not realistic because this is someone that is going from being someone that couldn't save at all, spending 80K over 100K a month on just feeding, and then you can't even save. Your money just finishes first week, and then you're saying, I want to keep food under 5K, right? It's not achievable. So you have to be realistic with yourself. You can say, okay, oh, I was 90K, let me bring it down to like maybe spending 40K. That's a goal you can work toward. It's going to improve over time. So if you're also someone that has, and this is one thing I tell, because I mentor a lot of software engineers, I'm experiencing that at least, and I would tell people when you're coming into tech, for example, you can't come in and say, because there are different things that drive people to tech, right? And I'm not the kind of person that would tell you some noble reason why you need to write code because you want to save the world or you want to do this. I won't tell you that because we are, especially where I'm from, I live in Nigeria. I don't know where everyone on the call is from, our audience, but I know I'm in Nigeria, and in Nigeria and Africa, a lot of persons come into tech because they want to make money, because they want to improve their lives. They want to improve the lives of their family members. They want to earn in dollars, grow their income, right? So they can at least escape the poverty line. So, and then, so coming from that mindset, some persons come in and say, yo, this thing they pay, oh, sorry for my pigeon, and I'm going to spend the first half hour, give me 4 months. I'll use 4 months and I'll learn this stuff. Or let's say two months, I want to be a mid-level engineer. I'm like, calm down. That's not achievable, right? Because they call it reinforced learning. Whatever you're learning must build upon what you know before. And it gets stronger the more you build on that knowledge. So I would usually tell anybody like me, give yourself 1 year. If you're going to come into a career from zero, especially in software engineering, give yourself 1 year. Go through um, 4 months learning, 6 months, 7 months. Towards the end of the year, you can do an internship. From an internship, you start aiming toward the job. Now, some people don't like this because they want the money quick. But I would say, do you rather want to try it and then get discouraged and stop, or you want to actually improve your life and your income in the next 1 year, right? So your goal has to be achievable. It has to be something that is realistic from where you are. So it starts from being honest. Where are you now? Are you zero knowledge? There is the buzz now of AI. A lot of people want to learn AI, and you're like, okay, I'm going to be an AI engineer by next month. Chill. Find out what works here. Where am I? What do I know? How much of what I know can I transfer to this field? And then you can make goals from there. Next, your goal has to be relevance. You need to ask yourself the why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to do this? What do you want? It's finished. So you ask yourself, what's my why? Like, why do I want to achieve this? For example, for some persons, remember, if you want to get a job, it's valid to be because the primary reason we work is to make money. That's the primary reason we get a job, to make money. So if you want to make money, for example, you have to ask yourself why. And the reason for me saying why is not just about because people are making money. It has to be, what am I using that for? How do I want my life to improve? If I say I want to be able to, let me give an example of people when they enter a new year. Somebody wants to get married, for example, or you want to start a family, and then you're starting out your year, and they say, okay, I need to get a job because if I get a job, I'll be able to cater to get married, sponsor a wedding, I'll have a child, take my child to school, I'll be stable. Now, you see that reason for being stable is enough motivation. Now, that's a relevant goal because it has a reason. It has to also be connected to your values. The value there is that you want to start a family. And because of that, you want to do this. So that keeps you motivated. If one thing I'm not interested in, for example, is I have to learn that these days, but previously maybe very loud on social media, being a content creator and all that. Some people are very interested in that. I think I need to improve on that. But let's say I'm not excited about content creation and I'm like, I want to post, I want to be an Instagram now, TikTok influencer. Now, this is not Twitter that is even text. I mean, TikTok. I want to make videos, start a podcast. And I was from being completely, I have to ask myself, does that matter to my values? Does that align with what I want to do? If yes, go for it. If no, your goal must align with your values. It has to be relevant. So you want to achieve it. The last one is the T. We've gone through SMART: specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, relevant, and now time bound. Time bound means there has to be a time to your goal. All the examples I've been giving time. When I said I want to read 12 books this year, that's 12 books this year would mean this year, 1 year, 12 months. It's time bound. If I say I want to be rich, let's use the bad example we used earlier. I want to be rich. It's not specific. It's not um it's not measurable. It's achievable, but you won't even know when you achieve it because it's not measurable. And what metrics? Are you saying rich in Naira? Are you saying rich in USD? Are you saying richest person in your family? Are you saying richest person where? Like, what's the context of that? Is there a why to it? There has to be a why. Some people want to be rich because they want to be philanthropists. Some people want to be rich because they got a family. Some people want to be rich so they can start businesses. Some people want to be rich so they can fund maybe their faith. Right? Those are relevant reasons, and it's not time bound, so it's a bad goal. So a better one would be the guy that is spending 80,000 naira on food on 100,000 naira salary can say, I want to cook 2 times a week. 2 times a week. I think that's measurable, that's specific, and that's also time because at the end of the week, did I cook twice? End of next week, did I cook twice? And you can say, I want to reduce my spending by 50% in 6 months, my food spending 50% in 6 months. That's timed. So that's the last one. It's timed, or you can say time bound. Does that make sense? Do you have any random questions if I go on? You don't here, or I do? Can you hear me?
No question.
Just once.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I can just go on. But you can just give me, okay, good. So the well, feel free to drop because I'm switching up a little bit. So what are goals for? Goals are for direction, just as the examples I've been giving, they are for direction. I want to know, and I want to do this. But then there is this material I read, and I got a lot of information from it. And I've also been trying to apply that. I've been unconsciously doing that, but now I want to be more specific. I want to be more intentional in doing that. That's the first statement I made that says, the reason people fail at their goals is because they don't have systems that enable that goal happen. And there's this quote some of you would have heard before. It's very popular, where they say, "You don't rise to the level of your goals, that you fall to the level of your systems." And that's really true. That's really true, because if I say, for example, I want to start, I want to get an internship, or I want to learn, let me say something I haven't learned already, um in tech. Okay, I'm not a product designer, so I'll just talk from that. Let's say I want to be a product designer, right? And then what do I need to do every single day? What systems do I need to put in place to be that, right? This could be as simple as me saying I'm going to read 10 minutes every day, right? 10 minutes every day. Now, the goal is to start a career in product design to get an internship in the next 6 months, which I advise the next 6 months. And then I start out and I say, I'm going to read 10 chapters, or let's say I'll read 3 books in that 6 months, or finish 3 tutorials, like courses on Udemy or whatever. In next 6 months, I'll finish 3 courses, full-fledged curriculum courses. Then I'll say, but if I say that, that doesn't mean I'll achieve it, right? It may be specific, maybe a smart goal, but one system I could put in place to ensure I do that could be, every day I would read 30 minutes or 1 hour. I tell you, if you're learning this skill and you don't have a full-time job, you should be doing 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. But if you have a normal job, or you just want to pivot to tech, and say I'm going to do 1 hour every day, just 1 hour, I'm going to read this material. It's not too much. It's just 1 hour out of 24. But that is more important, and you would achieve more than someone that says, I'm going to achieve this, and then today they read 30 minutes, then they wait for like next 3 days before they read 6 hours. And then they don't do 6 hours again until 2 weeks. They say, oh, I'm still learning this. And you come back, you do 30 minutes. No, the person that is doing 1 hour every day is developing a habit that would enable you be a UI/UX designer. Yeah, because every 1 hour every day, you read, you go through that course. Probably you also inspire yourself with videos on YouTube of successful UI/UX designers, a day in the life of a UI/UX designer. That's what I'll do. A day in the life of a UX designer, watch a movie about design, possibly just put it in my head, and then every day. And I'm building habits that will help me be what I want to be. And explaining that, there's this guy, James Clear. If you've read, there's a book, Atomic Habits, that I wrote a while ago. And I remember coming across that and reading Atomic Habits and seeing, this is what we've noticed every single in nature, but it was very nice to see someone like actually make a book out of that, to actually like say or show metrics on that. For example, I, as a human being, I have a daughter, I have a baby, and there is this thing we call in children, we call it growth spurts, right? Growth spurts are like periods where they have rapid growth. So a child can just be the same height for like, or let's say one week, or let's say 2 months, and then in just 3 days they are like 3 inches, right? That's a growth spot. The same thing with growing my hair, for example. You can go probably 6 months and it appears the same. There's no progress. Then in just 1 week, it's like, what's going on? Yeah. So that's how nature is. You plant a palm tree, this oil palm. I can't remember how long it takes, but I know it takes years. So those number of years, you're seeing no growth, but it's developing roots, is actually growing, but it's not visible. And then in 1 year, it grows to probably 30 feet tall, right? So that's how it is in nature. And that is the nature of building systems also. If I want to learn UI/UX design, for example, and I've already said I'll read 1 hour a day, I would go through my courses 1 hour a day. Then I need to focus on just that 1 hour a day. This takes away pressure. That's why I like telling people have a long-term goal. If you want to come into tech or you want to start a tech career, give yourself 1 year. I know things are probably hard. There's pressure, but you've been going through that pressure before. So, like, there's no difference. If you've not been, some people say, no, I don't have food to eat. I need this thing to work. I don't have money for data. I need this thing to work in 1 month. But you've been living 3 years without food, the much food, without data. So, what is there to just do 1 extra year and then change your life, right? So, you'd say 1 hour a day and you focus on 1 hour a day. That's all. In fact, there was this friend I was telling him I wanted to improve the way I read. And he told me, Chibi, you know what? Read, just give yourself 15 minutes a day. And when you're done with 15 minutes, he told me, close the book. Like, it doesn't matter how pumped you are. I have time now. I'm reading this book. I'm done with 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, I can do 1 hour. He said, no, close the book. You're done for the day. So you can be consistent, because if it becomes something of a burden, you will stop. But you don't want to stop. You want to achieve your goal. So set something realistic and you say 1 hour a day. Stick to your 1 hour a day. Come rain, come sun. Stick to 1 hour a day. If you're going up 105, 1 hour, 5 minutes, 50, but that's it. Don't do some days 8 hours and then some days 10 hours. It's a psych to your brain. You do 1 hour every day. Those are little 1% you're putting in, and then it compounds. And one day you just realize you're understanding how this thing works. I remember learning software engineering and how I also encourage people now being programmers, because it can be really hard. You start out your code and like you're reading for the first time object-oriented programming and you're like, this is really hard. I don't understand the concept. Well, what is what is inheritance? What is polymorphism? What are objects? I don't know what they are, right? And you read it, you couldn't grasp it. What I do, just keep reading it. I'll just keep reading. That's the way the brain works. The brain is like training a muscle. The more you gym, you have micro tears. The micro tears heal, your muscle is stronger. You gym again, you have micro tears, it causes pain. They heal, then it's stronger. That's how you build muscles. The same way scientists say that that's how your brain functions. So it's looking hard. You're practically gymming your brain, and I do that for a while. Let it go. Notice that when you leave it for like, let's say you leave it for like, if you're learning something that was hard and you push, and you leave it for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you come back to it, for example, to that particular matter, you see that it looks as though your brain has grown, your capacity is enlarged, you're suddenly just understanding it better. That's how the brain works. So it's not when you ram, it's not working. You should keep looking at it. Don't stop, keep looking, but stick to your schedule. 1 hour every day is hard. I'll read it. 1 hour every day. Give them, measure your progress in 10 months and see how well you've done. Yeah. And then there is, let me give a specific quote from what James Clear said, since I quoted him. The example he gave was, if you improve by 1% every day, listen to this very careful. If you improve by 1% every day, you'll be 37 times better in 1 year. I repeat it. If you improve by 1% every day, tiny, right? 1%, you'll be 37 times better in a year. Some of us don't want to be 37 times, we just want 10x. That's all. I just care about 10x, right? It's like, yo, if my net worth is $100K, I just want to be a million. That's it, right? Some people just want 2x, 3x. That's what they want. They want to read. If they did 5 books last year, they want to do 10 books this year. That's it, right? That 1% would give you that, but doing a lot would not give you that. Yeah. And I think if I'm to share any other thoughts before I take questions, it would be the regular vision board thing people do. I've never done a vision board, but people do vision boards. But I think it's not about just the board. The board is important, but what they do that because they want to make their goals obvious to them. And I think that's the key lesson, making your goal obvious. If I want to learn something, I start following people that do that. If I want to maybe do product design, for example, I begin product design. I'm going to follow top product designers. I don't mean people learning. No, no, no. I tell people that there are three persons you need in your life. You need a mentor, you need a mentee, sometimes to add value to make yourself better, and you need your peers, right? So I get mentors. I start following mentors. Sometimes you may not be able to afford or know people personally. You can ask for introductions. That's why we have Talent Factory. Great work you guys are doing. Yeah, but you look for mentors either online or physically, and then I follow them. Then you'd see me. I watch movies. I told somebody one time I got into software because of movies, and they thought I was joking, for real. Like, I just like watching people say it was unrealistic, but you just see someone coding on the black screen and the world is about to, maybe a catastrophe is about to happen, and they just then in the nick of time, it just works, and they say you save the world. I like that feeling to just, how can someone just be in front of a screen and you stop a plane from crashing? And to, no matter how childish it may be then, but that's actually what opened my or inspired my creativity, right? It was enough to make me dream. It made it. I watched movies around tech. I I I made it attractive, right? Because it has to be attractive. It has to be easy. Also, I know some people want to go from zero to or $10 this month, January. Relax, breathe. Give yourself 1 year. That's why it's a year. Give yourself 1 year. Remember compounding effect. If I want to be a wealthy person, for example, I want to have a net worth of let's say $100 million in the next 10 years, for example, or next let's say next 10 years. You have to every month be patient, because it may even look like the first year nothing happened, second year nothing happened, but you're learning the skills, you're consistent. Third year nothing happened, fourth year it will just be an opportunity in the ninth year that just gives you that. But you think it was magical. No, you've been preparing all along. You've been preparing. It wasn't magical, because when the opportunity comes, you have to be prepared for it and ready for it. And that's what happened, right? And also, finally, I would say make it satisfying. If 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 you get a job, how would that make you feel? Think about that. How would that make you feel? It would it would if it will enable you to celebrate, and then you can learn more. So for example, someone like me, I try to take a vacation every year. It doesn't matter how things are. It's just celebrating life. You don't wait till you get old. And taking a vacation, or let's say celebrating little wins in a year, could be as simple as going outside, right? Buying, using, like, normally you don't eat suya, right? You actually eat suya moderately, 200 a month, or no, suya is not 200 again, sorry, 1,000 a month, or that's all you eat. And I have 20K. I can take 5K, just buy suya and buy cold Pepsi, drink it and celebrate, right? That's the win. So if you achieve your goal, how would you celebrate? You plan it. You plan it. You can tell yourself, if I get a job by the end of this year, I'm going to lodge myself at a hotel for just 2 days to rest up and just relax. That's encouraged. That's a goal. Now, if you don't do that, an example of this would be when we apply to spiritual growth, and you say, I'm going to read, let's say I'm going to read my Bible. I'm not going to eat until I read my Bible, or until I pray, right? And then it's morning and it's getting to 12 p.m. You've not eaten. You're like, no, I must. And you pray for 15 minutes or 1 hour, and then you then eat. That's satisfying. That's a reasonable goal. You get, so something like that. Yeah, and always keep your who you want to be. There's question when they say, what do you want to do and who do you want to be? You think of yourself this year, end of 2025. We can do that together now. Pause. Shut your eyes. Let's do this quickly. Shut your eyes. If you're watching this stream, shut your eyes. Let's try something. And then imagine that, imagine yourself by the end of 2025. Are you guys following me on this? And sure you are. End of 2025, just shut your eyes. Imagine yourself at the end of 2025. What are you? or who are you? Like what and who are you? At the end of 2025, the things you want to achieve, you say, okay, don't do it from what you want to achieve. Think about what are you? You're standing at the end of 2025 now, and you say, oh, I have a job. I have a car I've always wanted to get. I'm married now because that was my goal, and this is where I am now. And this job is paying me $3,000 every month, $5,000 every month, $20,000, depending on your skill level. I'm earning 15,000 from freelancing or a steady job every month. That's where I am. And I'm currently at a vacation, either with my family in Port Harcourt or wherever you are, or in a country, let's say Seychelles. I'm just there at the beach and I'm reminiscing on the year, how far the year has gone. You do that mental exercise, how far the year has gone. Now that is what you want to be. That's who you want to be at the end of this year, at the end. And then, so when you're doing your daily habits, you're saying stuff like, I am this person that is doing this every day, right? So if you want to be a software engineer, imagine telling yourself, I'm a software engineer that codes for 1 hour every day. I'm a software engineer that codes. So you're giving your forming your habits not by what you want to be, but what you are. If that makes sense. It's just to psych your brain. So say you're saying I want to be a software engineer, so I'll code 1 hour daily. No, you're saying I'm a software engineer that codes 1 hour daily. So you're already seeing yourself as your successful picture, and then you're doing the actions that enable you be that. So you're already that's that optimism at these heights, and that's bringing your vision close. This is very simple if I was speaking to spiritual people, but that's just it. You at the end, this is who I am, and this is I'm doing these habits. So that puts you in it, right? So putting everything together, smart goals, specific, measurable, achievable, attainable, realistic, and timed. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. So your goal depends on the systems you have created, and those systems are habits. And a little 1% increment every day would make you 37 times better at the end of the year. Make your goals obvious, make them attractive to yourself, make it satisfying, ensure it's something simple and you feel good when you achieve it. And then see your end vision and speak from there. And then you're going to have a beautiful 2025. A little chime I would have at the end of the tech roadmap. I've already given you some alphas. 1 year plan, 1 year. I don't know if you guys do 6 months, but I do 1 year. 1 year plan. I always have to the end of the year. I want to learn the tech skill end of the year. I want to be a product designer end of the year. I don't mean you wait to the end. Things could happen, but that 1 year makes you patient and consistent to your daily habits. Because if you're saying the next 2 months, sometimes job applications take 3 months to come through, right? So if I want to get a job, I'm somewhere where I've learned I want to get a job in before the end of the year, I would start applying 20 job applications every day. I remember one time in 2020, before I got the job, that was a big break for me in 2020. I did 160 job applications in 24 hours, within 24 hours. I remember sending out, that was 2020, July, 2020, July, August, sorry, August. No, August, sorry, July, June, July. I sent 160 applications within 24 hours. And then one of those applications was where I got an interview that gave me that job because I was really hungry. I really needed that. But of course, don't do that. It would be a better thing to say, I'm going to do 20 or 10 job applications every day for the next 6 months. That's how it works. Just 10 job applications for the next 6 months. You don't care. You're just playing a game. It doesn't matter. You have 100 rejections. That's not your problem. What you set out to do was do 10 job applications every day for the next 6 months. It doesn't matter the results. It doesn't matter what happens. You must do 10 job applications, do your interviews for the next 6 months. Trust me, you would get a job. I'm telling you, because you're learning, you're speaking to people, you'll get a job. If it's a skill, you'll be good at that skill. Trust me. Yeah, so I think, let me stop here and get some questions, and I use the 15 minutes to see what I can talk about.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chibi. That was um uh really an amazing session. Well, to be honest, as the session was going on, I said to myself that this event is for me, right? It's not first of all for we thought we were actually organizing it for just the community, but we are saying
Yeah.
that personally, I saw that it's for me, right? So, of course, when you are coming into entering a new year, everyone wants to set goals, what they want to achieve in the year. Of course, they want to, at the end of the year, they want to have achieved some things, and that a lot of persons set goals at the beginning of the year, and we have seen that there are errors with how we set goals. As I went through your session, I just saw that personally, I set goals that were not maybe achievable. So somewhere along the line in the year, I most times I used to forget that I actually set those goals, right? And towards the end of the year, just remember that I wanted to do this, but I couldn't do it, right? So I think personally, I learned a lot from your session on how to set SMART goals, going through the SMART acronym and all that. So yeah, thanks a lot. That was really
Welcome.
an impact session. Yeah. So um we don't really have questions in the chat section, but maybe we can just have a bit of interaction. I know that today has like a lot of events for several
Good.
persons, being that the first day of the year, people have a lot of events going on, right? So it's a busy day for everyone. But we have this streamed on YouTube and people will watch it even after the live stream. So we just have like a little session just to interact, ask some questions, and we'll end it there. So
Okay.
um, yeah, so I think the first question I will ask is, you gave an instance of someone that let's say the person maybe is hungry, has not been maybe had food to eat and all that, and maybe that's the reason why the person wants to get into tech, and the person sets like a time that is not achievable. Maybe I want to learn in a month and get a foreign job, which is not achievable, right? So how do you in a situation where you are going through hardship, let's put it that way, you know that in Nigeria, currently people are
Yeah.
going through a lot of hard times and all that, yeah. So someone may want to get into tech, but there are difficulties as well. You need a laptop, you need internet and all that. You still need some form of funds. How do you ensure that your goals, you set a goal that is achievable, and which means that it's going to be a long-term goal? Yeah, for getting to tech and get a high-paying job is not something you do overnight. It's something that takes time, right? So how do you go
Yeah.
through all that process with all the hardship you are still like is that is still there? How do you, yeah,
Yeah.
manage all of
Yeah. I've seen people that like first of all, I'd like to say first that when it comes to your maybe being we need to take responsibility for our lives. That's the first one. Because some persons they like to look outward. No, there's nobody coming to save you anywhere. Like it's your life. So if let's say let me give an example. Hardship are at different levels, right? But the hardship you've defined is hardship that you don't have a laptop and you eat maybe once a day, and some days no food, maybe one day no food and you eat the next day. That sort of hardship. Let's just explain from that point of hardship. Now I'm going to ask that person first, do you have a job? I bet some person will be like, no, I don't have a job. I'm just borrowing money, borrow from this person, pay this person, I'm just surviving. Then that's a very bad habit. You're not a responsible person, right? So before, if someone like that comes to me to say, I want to learn tech, I'll say, no, don't start. Go and get a job. And when I mean a job, I'm not saying get a tech job. No, I'm saying work at a restaurant, work, do
it?
Obuaja. When I mean Obuaja, let me explain what Obuaja, since they may be non-Nigerians, but go and work at, let's say there's people that do site work and they spend the whole day, right? And they pay them like, let's say 8,000. I think 8,000 they pay now for a day job. I think it's up to 8,000 now or 7K, at least from Ibadan where I stay, 8K. So just to carry block for site, right? Some person, you will see someone that doesn't have food to eat, that doesn't have a job, and the person is having tastes for the kind, like you're having class. Do you understand? You're saying, no, me, I can never carry block. Me, I can't work at the restaurant. No way. They are posting on Instagram with filters. You're not ready. You're not ready to leave poverty. No, you're not. So you have to start. You have to start being responsible first. So you say, okay, I'm going to work at the site. I'm using the word so you know how low I'm coming. I'm going to carry block. I'll earn 8K a day. Even if my back hurts, it will take 4. I can work 4 of that every week, and that would be like 8K times 4, maybe like 32,000 naira. In a month, I'll be almost at over 120K, definitely. Then when I work morning to evening, I'll spend just 1 hour, right? Learning. Now you don't have a laptop, but you have a phone, right? You download. When I started programming, I didn't have a system. I used to use I had a flip Nokia 65 then, I remember. So I used to, the Java notes I said I read was on that phone. I would read, then I would go to a cyber cafe at the time, maybe use the money, go there, buy time, down practice, like you know the way it is now. You don't beg the cyber cafe guy, Alpha, please can I? You come back, you read, you're imagining code in your head, you're seeing the problem, you're doing the solutions. People don't do that again these days. With an Android phone, bro, you're powerful. You can actually write Python code on. You can build a website, complete website with your phone right now these days. So get a job that keeps you makes you own your life. It doesn't matter what that job is. Even if you're a cleaner, you sell at a restaurant, just do something, then could be consistent with that 1 hour daily. You'll be able to save up with proper savings, get a laptop. It may take you now. This thing I'm saying, the way people calculate, they say if I'm earning 120K a month from maybe any menial job I'm doing, and I save 30K or 40K, it will take me 1 year. No, a laptop now is like 200K. Laptops are expensive now, but by the way, 300K. So it may take me like probably 10 months or 8 months to get a laptop. But I found out that it never takes that long. When I found out it will take you 8 months normally, but when you start it 120, it just happens that when you start doing that job, when you're saving 40K, in the fourth month, you bought yourself a laptop. It's as though the universe or God just favors the person that works. Do you get? When you're responsible, you decide that you're working, someone could give you a gift, you could get an opportunity, but I'm telling you, most times, fourth month, you've got to your stuff and you have a laptop, then you improve your life. You've gone from a phone, you start reading code. Some people say, I don't have an inverter, I don't have lights. What are you doing in your house? What do you mean you don't have light? I used to take my laptop to go to restaurants to plug. You know, when you don't have, they'll tell you must buy something before you use their restaurant. So I'll buy water. You buy water. No matter what, you just buy water, bottle water. And you drink that water slowly for 6 hours. Just be slow. Don't rush. Keep it. And use their lights. You're a customer. You get, use it. But own your life and do something. It's better than staying and wishing, going for cyber begging on Twitter. Somebody give me a laptop. Somebody give me a laptop. Someone who could give you a laptop, but your goals cannot be based on dreams. You must have those goals, even though those one-off opportunities can come. Yeah. Did that help?
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, so what I'm hearing you say is that we have to set up like a system. I think the system is like a driver, right? That takes us to our goal. Am I correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so because yeah, we're in a age where a lot of persons like to give excuses, right? I would have loved to be a software engineer, but I don't have a system. No, why you were just did like a flashback how we all started. It was really not
Yeah.
easy those days. The thing about getting the job, right, is very important. It's very important. So, personally, when I finish school, my goal has always been to build like companies, build startup. I've always wanted to build things that
Beautiful.
solve problems. And so, even while in school, I had a startup back then, and it was really
I
not easy
remember.
because yeah, I wasn't any money, and of course, when you're building startup, you have to spend, right? So it was really not easy. So even at the point where I finished school, there was a company that approached me to work for them, and I said, no, that's not in my calendar. I
What?
don't plan to work for any. So you can imagine that. So I didn't really know how like things are out there. I just thought maybe having a company automatically money will start coming in and all that, but
Coming in
that's
the
not how
ah.
I went. So that's not how it went, right? So funny enough, luckily for me, they insisted, and I eventually we found a middle ground to work. So then remote work was not a thing. That was 2019, but they agreed that I would work remotely because they really wanted me on their team.
Yeah,
So I wasn't going to the office. So yeah, that gave me time to build my own stuff as well. And that really helped me because at the time where I finished school, I didn't have a good laptop. I think my friend gave me a system that was more like a
yeah,
desktop. It was a laptop, a desktop, right? So and it was slow. So getting that job helped me to get like a better system, a better laptop to work with.
nice.
And getting that laptop really helped me to learn because I was taking courses as well. I was working, and it really helped me, right, to move faster in my career. So yeah, the thing about getting a job is very important. So there's no excuse for anyone to not achieve anything, no
Yeah,
matter where you are. It's just about you knowing your background, where you're coming from. Okay, you know that this is where you are. You don't really have anybody to support you. It means
yeah,
that you have to do more work, right? Do more work. You have to
exactly.
support your Yeah, you have to support yourself, and you have to keep pushing towards your goals. So, whatever job you can find, even if it's something that is paying you 500 naira every day, is still something, right? So you can
Responsibility.
get
Yeah,
engaged with, get pushing, right? At the end of the day, you see that it keeps getting better as long as you keep pushing, keeps getting better. That's one thing I've discovered in my
yeah,
career pursuit, it keeps getting better. So from my first job, I started getting like better offers and all of that. And today I have like it's really better from where I started from. So yeah, that's very important. So the next question would be, how can someone identify the most in-demand skills in tech to focus on for 2025?
Mm. I think the most important skills would be the way you can. I do Google search. I just you see this question you asked. I'll just type in tech tech skills to learn in 2025. I need to give me a list. But
Yeah.
but just to give you some alphas, I try to follow trends, right? If I see that,
Mm.
for example, right now there's an AI um going on. Everybody's pumped on AI. Every company is doing AI, AI, AI. One skill I would want to learn would be something like AI prompt engine. That career didn't exist as at 2022. It wasn't, it didn't exist 2022. There was nothing like AI prompt engineering. But as ChatGPT came out, people saw that okay, you can actually give it prompts in a way that maximizes the kind of answer you get. And so a new field came up for prompt engineering. And so, but the trend is still AI, that companies are doing this. I try to watch what big guys are doing. Google, Amazon, Uber, those companies, to just watch the direction they are taking, because the jobs will go in that direction for the most part. So if there is, so right now I can't think of, there shouldn't be any tech person that shouldn't be using AI every day. That doesn't use AI every day. Like, you should be doing that. Like, even if it's ChatGPT, even if it's you're learning about trying to pay with an API, or just knowing what is going on there, because that's the trend that will create new jobs that didn't exist. So I follow those kind of trends. Yeah, another uprising industry is blockchain. That's where I play in strongly. And in the blockchain space, um, this includes both cryptocurrencies and the blockchain tech as it is, being cryptocurrency trading, blockchain engineering, smart contract development, those kind of, those are emerging industries. Those are like, the blockchain is still very early. You were very there in the dot-com boom. None of us, I don't think we were active, even if we were born, but we weren't conscious of what's going on in the world. And for the dot-com boom, where that brought up that we weren't also there actively in the space in social media boom, when Facebook, MySpace took off, right? But right now we are here in the blockchain boom. If I ask you when was Bitcoin founded, you know the year. Probably you know you probably bought it years ago, right? So you're in that space, so you can take advantage of those upcoming trends. So you're among the early guys playing there. The blockchain, AI is still very early, but it's growing massively. I've not played in AI. I use AI every day for work, but I would want to also explore that. Right, that's one area I think would do well. And see the way they do it. You need to connect your skill to that trend. Now, listen, I'm saying. This is an alpha. Connect your skill to the trend. When there is no need panicking to say this is a new year, what will I learn? You ask yourself, what do I know? For example, imagine I'm a front-end React developer. Front-end React developer. I write front-end code. For in the last maybe 2 years, I've been writing front-end code. And then you hear that, oh, blockchain is a thing now. People are looking for blockchain engineers, is in demand. What do I do? Okay, I check what can a React developer do in blockchain. All you need to do to switch from React development Web 2 to Web 3 is just knowing how to use a library, Ethers.js or Web3.js. Forget the buzzword, it's looking big, but if you reduce it to this is what I know, how can I transition to match up this trend? You realize it's just 2 weeks. I'm telling you, from an experienced front-end developer, 2 weeks or 1 week, you've started interacting with smart contracts. And just that little change that took 2 weeks has upped your pay. If you were earning 2K, you are suddenly saying, I'm a blockchain engineer and I'm going to charge you 5K. Just that simple hack that did take you up to 2 weeks because you already know something. That's how it is. So in AI, I told a lot of my friends, there's blockchain as a space coming. And if you're a lawyer, you research what can a lawyer do in the blockchain space, like I'm being blockchain law. You're not doing anything different. The research you've been doing is just a new industry. But because that industry is booming, so a lot of VCs, a lot of liquidity provider, limited partners, LPs are pumping in money in that trend because they want to buy in. So you're ripping off people's interest, the big guys. You get so AI now. Somebody wrote this guy, Sam Altman's co-founder at the time for OpenAI. What's his name? Ilya. He has his first car, something like that. But Ilya, I remember he left OpenAI and he wanted to raise money for his startup. The startup is Super Intelligence. Yeah. So he wrote a memo, just a simple website. If you check that website, you'll probably be annoyed. But he raised $1 billion. $1 billion for a startup. Like who raises $1 billion? Like that's a unicorn. Like you started your company a unicorn. Like how does that happen? $1 billion. When you see people pumping money like that, then bro, what do you need to learn? What do I know? I'm an engineer. What do I need to know? I use OpenAI library. I use this. Okay, I'm in this space. I understand what's going on in this space. Since it's early, people are patient with you. Remember, since it's an early space, people are patient. So when they hire you, they are more interested in training you. So they're not expecting much because nobody knows much. Everybody with the experience is just 2 years old or 1 year old. So you transit and you up your income. AI, blockchain, those are the two I've said. People are doing a lot of data work, analysis, but I'm not in that space because the reason why I know there's people learning data, there's people learning UI UX design, UI UX good, but I try to also learn stuff. Again, coming from Nigeria, I like to learn skills that let me speak it the way to make me happy. Let me speak it in pidgin. Like bad as it bad. If everything spoils, I can freelance. Do you understand? Like you understand what I'm saying? Like I can say if everything is bad, I can just put on my status and say, bro, I do this. Reach out to me. But when you learn a skill and you want to really break it, and then you need that skill, you cannot practice it until you're working in a big company like a bank. That's a red flag for me. That's just how I see it in tech, right? That you need to work for a big agency before you can practice that skill. No. Yeah.
And there are skills that are quite difficult for like entry level guys. For me,
Thank
skills
you.
like product management. From my experience, it's really difficult for you to get a job as a product manager at an entry level because most startups don't really require product managers at the
Yeah.
beginning. So it's when they make some reasonable raising funds and generating revenue that they can like manager. So yeah, these are things to look out for. Okay, what was in demand in the market and all that. Yeah, so that's really important. All right, thank you so much. So the next question is, how can someone measure the success of their tech career goals effectively?
Okay, I think it's the same one for setting measurable goals. So it depends on how you set the goal, because the measurement of the goal is in the setting the goal. So if you say, you want to get a job this year, and you finish your 6 months training or whatever in a boot camp, and you want to, usually people sometimes don't go for a job, go for an internship. Just go for an internship that has prospect of a job. So if you want to get a job, you can just say, instead of me saying I want to get a job in a foreign company, I've never worked before, I can say, okay, I want to get an internship, but now I'll get an internship with a foreign US company. Then I know that I'll perform myself. There's a possibility that will transition me to a job, right? So that way you can give yourself 3 months to do an internship. So the way you measure that is simply by saying, for a job, say, I want to internship, I want to send 10 applications every day. That 10 applications every day is the primary measurement. Did I do 10 that day? Just focus, do that 10 for the next 6 months, as you have said, or 3 months, as you said. That's the primary measurement. But in the broader measurement, you said 10 applications every day for 6 months. In 3 months, you look back, I've done 10 every day. How many interviews did I get? Because you need to know if that your goal is also realistic. Remember, realistic is both ways. Can you achieve it? Can you achieve it? But also, is it too small? Because your goal can be too small. It's not only being too big. It can be too small. For example, if you say 10 applications every day, and then at the end of 3 months, you notice that you got, 10 applications every day, remove weekends, let's just say 50 applications a week. Is that correct? 50 times 4 will give you 200 applications a month. 3 months is 600 applications. Now, out of 600, you now look back, you saw that out of 600 applications, you got 60 interviews, or 60 years, sorry, 60 years. And you went through only 6 of those were an actual interview that went to the final. Then if you did 600 to get 6, that means you're seeing a 1% success rate, or interview, like final interview stage rates. Then what do you need to do? It means if you want to have more interviews, then you can't do 10 applications a day. You see that? So if you have six final stage interview at 600 applications, you should now be aiming, okay, I want to have, so you know that if you want to have 30 interviews, then you need to be doing 1,000. No, that's 3,000. We should up it from like to 50 applications every day. That kind of, or you extend the time to say, instead of 10 applications for 3 months, I will do 15 for, you understand? So you just up it a bit, and that's how you can measure your goals. I know you've achieved it.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So in a way, we're saying that we should have like a way to evaluate what we've done, and look back at what we've done, and compare it with our goals, right? So if there's need for adjustment, to get there. Okay, that's perfect. So I think another question would be, how do you balance ambition and setting achievable goals? Ambitious person could just set goals that may be too bogus or too big. And how do you balance it with, for instance, let's look at someone that's trying to run a business. You just heard that this startup became a unicorn, and then you said, I want my startup to become a unicorn in 3 years. That's quite, I don't think it's achievable, right? So I don't think it's, anyway, it could be, it depends on the nature of the startup,
Depends
but
on where your call coming from.
where you're coming
Depends on
from.
where
So
you're
let's
coming
look
from.
at,
Yeah.
yeah. So let's look at Africa. It's really difficult, right? Coming from Africa, to become a unicorn in 3 days. I mean, 3 years. So if you look at companies that becomes unicorn in Africa, most of them worked like close to 10 years or so, 5 to 10 years to become unicorns. So how do you balance like ambition and setting realistic goals?
Yeah, I think for the ambition part, I when I look at an ambitious person, I don't look at an ambitious person as someone that has very high sounding goals. what I see as ambition is how you show up daily. That's how I see ambition. So you can tell me that I want to be a unicorn in 3 years, right? I may not doubt you first, even if I would say it's difficult. But I'll say, okay, depends. It could be that you have a strong network. You might have worked for 3 years before that, and you have a very strong network with foreign guys. You have investors. You understand? You have maybe uncles that are big players. You came from somewhere big, and I'm like, okay, I'll be sure, okay, let's see how you do it. And then this month, you incorporated, you did this, you did that, you grew, you started talking to your users. You may only have 10 users, but the way you're putting your energy every day or every week, you're having customer calls. Next month, you're growing that. The attention you put to customer care, customer service. You start seeing signals. Everything still, you notice everything I'm saying still boils down to the system, right? And if that's to show your ambition in how by your commitment to your habits. That's how you show your ambition. So showing your ambition is not saying if you want to see ambitious people, don't worry, go to Twitter, you see them, go to Instagram. You don't need to tell me like they are the people that write, they even they'll put a soundtrack, and this is what I want to be. They say from my mouth to the universe, from my mouth to God's ears. Those ones are there, right? But it's about after you say that, what are you doing? That's how I know you're ambitious. So you're not look at your friends, the people you know. When you want to look at ambitious people, if you look back, you can just imagine one or two people, you would see that there are people that have been consistent in what they are doing, and they are always improving every single year, right? Every single year, they are committed to what they are doing. That's how you show ambition. You tell somebody, one person I like that is very ambitious was this. Look at this guy. This example, I'm going to use this from the Bible. Jacob, Jacob, when he was at his uncle's place, Jacob, just a Bible character that I wanted to marry a woman. I wanted to marry Rachel, a woman, and then he had to work for 7 years to marry her. Right? It's easy for when a book summarizes and says he worked for 7 years. After 7 years, his uncle cheated him and gave him the wrong wife. He had to work for another 7 years. It's easy to just say 7 years. 7 years. It's 14 years now. No, calm down. 14 years of someone's life is every day, bro. That's not easy. And he do that for 7 years. That's ambition. Do you understand? 14 years. That's ambition. It's not him saying, I want to marry your daughter. No. It's what he did for that period. That's ambition. Yes. Not forgetting, right? Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I think the last question, someone asks, are there recommended books? Are there books you can recommend?
For the year, depends. Is it tech books or just personal development books?
I guess that will be books.
I think personal development.
Yeah, I guess books in line with setting goals and achieving and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would give you, there is one book I've read before, and then the one I use that as an example here. There is what they call it, Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is a good book. Atomic, ATOMIC. Habits, HABIT. Atomic Habits by James Clear. CLEAR. Okay. James Clear, Atomic Habits. Then there's also there's one I read some years ago, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Eat That Frog. Eat That Frog is actually a book against procrastination. So I think it's a good thing to also read. Eat That Frog and then Atomic Habits. I think those books would be a good, especially Atomic Habits, but it actually did the science of this habit thing we've been talking about, right? So you can read that. It's a classic. Then if you want to improve on personal finance, I know a lot of people that are even working, because one thing is making money and that thing is keeping money. Trust me, if you handle your finances better, any of us, if we handle our finances better, you see that you would be wealthier than you actually are. Sometimes, have you ever waited to the end of the year and then you look back at your account, how much went through? I'm not saying how much is in your account. I just mean how much went through. Just get your statement, check
Yeah.
incoming. The existing banks do in, total out. Just check your total in and then check your out. You'll be like, oh my God, this is what went through my basket. But how much did I keep? Right. So for that, I'll recommend Richest Man in Babylon. That's a popular book. Some people don't like that book. I don't know why. But that's the most important finance book I've read in my life. As simple as it is. The stories in that book is by George Clarkson, I think. Richest Man in Babylon. That book is amazing. Like, I like to read it. I've read like the Bible twice or three times, and I'll still read it again over and over again. It's a very simple personal finance book. But what it teaches you is the stories, the commitment. You would see him saying, if you want to save for 1 year. I like long goals, like short-term goals for change your life 1 year. Don't be telling me 2 weeks, 3 weeks, no, 1 year. You get 1 year. You see planning of 1 year, you plan your life 5 years, 10 years. That just makes you have your long-term goal, you have a short-term goal. So those books, Atomic Habits, what's the second one I give you? Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. And then if it's for finance, so you learn how to keep your money, that's Richest Man in Babylon.
Okay. All right. That's good. All right. I think it has been really an amazing session. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate. Okay, so I think that will be all for this session.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks. It's our pleasure.
Great work with TalentsFactory. Great work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks. I believe that we learned a lot, and Happy New Year once again. 2025 promises to be great. Just like we have learned today, let's set smart goals, measurable goals, specific goals, time-bound goals. And I believe that at the end of 2025, we'll be able to look back and say that, yeah, these goals I set, I'll be able to make progress with them. All right, thank you so much. That will be all for today. If you have not subscribed to our channel, we hold talent talks like this regularly, bi-weekly. Basically, today was a special event because of the new year, but we hold talent talk bi-weekly. And yeah, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll be able to tune in anytime we go live with events like this, and you'll be able to learn. So the idea is to get the community to learn from experts in the tech industry, expert like Chibi that we had on the call today. I believe that we learned a lot from his years of experience, right? So we bring in experts who have worked in the tech industry and have a lot of experience to share insight with us, right? So looking forward to the next talent talk we'll be having, and of course we'll make announcements as to the date and time for the next talent talk. Thanks everyone once again, and have an amazing day.